Hi guys, Korean movie recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to recap a Thailand comedy romantic movie released in 2019, called Friend Zone. This movie tells the story of the friendship of a man and a woman for 10 years. Once, they were in love together, but they chose to be friends. They experienced the bitter sweetness of life together. They even showered together as if it was a natural thing for them. Will they be friends forever, or will they be partners for life? Let's find it out. The story begins by showing the main character named Gink, who is being escorted by her father to school. In the car, they talked about their favorite food and what activities her father would do after dropping her off at school. This is where the very harmonious relationship between father and daughter is seen. Arriving at school, Gink suddenly ran into the backyard and jumped over the fence. It turns out that Gink and her friend, Palm, were planning to follow her father, who was allegedly cheating with another woman at the time. Here, Gink is described as a girl who is naive, reckless, and unyielding. On the way, Gink became increasingly suspicious because at that time her father did not go to the office but went to the airport. Palm tries to calm her down, maybe her dad has some work to do. But Gink, who was very curious, immediately borrowed Palm's money and asked him to come along. When they got there, they followed her father to the hotel. There, Gink was about to head straight for her father's room, but Palm held her back. Finally, they decided to monitor from the next room. Using the glass, Gink hears nothing while Palm hears that a woman is there. Palm tries to cover it up, but Gink finds out that he is lying and leaves in tears. While on the plane, Gink couldn't stop crying. Palm, who can't stand it, then hugs and says that he loves Gink. Hearing this, Gink was surprised because she thought her relationship with Palm was only friends. But Palm goes on to say that he loves Gink as a friend only. A few days later, Gink tells Palm that she is dating one of her friends. Palm is shocked, he doesn't think Gink fits with that person. However, this is not what he meant. Palm turns out to be jealous of their relationship. The story of their friendship continues, they sing together, have dinner together, and also vacation together. Several years later in 2019, at a wedding, Palm meets three men who have the same fate as him, both of whom are considered friends by their crush. All the men shared that they had experienced one-sided love, some considered friends for a year, some for 3 years, and some for up to 5 years. But all his friends are amazed by Palm because he can survive in the friend zone relationship for 10 years. Back to Palm's sad past, when he and Gink were together in high school. Year after year, the friendly relations grew closer to each other. In the love affair, Palm had several girlfriends, but the relationship never lasted long because his feelings were still and only for Gink. On the other hand, Gink ended up breaking up with her schoolmate because she was being cheated on. In every journey of Gink's heartbreak, Palm is always there for her as a friend who always cheers her on. Due to her cheating father and recently having an affair, Gink no longer believes in love. Although she still believes that one day there will be a man who can make her fall in love again. At a party, Gink introduces her new boyfriend, Ted, to Palm. Ted is Gink's ideal man. Ted comes as a good man who is believed to be Gink's true love. So engrossed in singing, Gink fell off the stage. Ted and Palm, who saw her, immediately approached her. Because her leg sprained badly enough, Gink ended up having to be taken to the hospital. Since it could only be escorted by one person, Ted and Palm immediately scrambled to get into the car. But unfortunately, Gink prefers Ted to accompany her. Meanwhile, Palm must be disappointed and can only be silent as he watches them leave. One day, Gink called Palm, who was in Myanmar with his girlfriend. Gink said she was in Malaysia to compose herself because she thought she was pregnant. Hearing this, Palm was shocked and immediately flew from Myanmar to Malaysia to accompany his friend. Arriving in Malaysia, Palm immediately went to see Gink for a pregnancy test. After taking the test and finding out that Gink wasn't pregnant, they were relieved and happy. However, Palm wonders why Ted isn't there. Apparently, Ted is currently working on songs from singers from various countries in Asia. Knowing Ted is always surrounded by beautiful singers, Gink starts to get jealous and suspicious. She did everything she could to prove the truth of her suspicions. One day, she finds a receipt for a restaurant in Malaysia that Ted had visited for dinner. Afterwards, Gink invites Palm to investigate the receipt. Even though Palm explains that the receipt can't be used as solid evidence to allege infidelity, Gink insists on investigating. Arriving at the restaurant, Gink started asking the waiter if there was a female singer having dinner with Ted. The waiters started accusing each other, which made Gink unable to prove her suspicions. Palm, who couldn't see his best friend sad, tried to calm Gink down by comforting her. Although Gink can be annoying and stubborn at times, Gink actually knows Palm's true feelings. But instead of destroying their friendship, Palm chooses to hide his feelings. One day, Ted was accompanied by Gink, who was in Cambodia. They seemed to be getting along and Gink's suspicions have been dispelled. But that night, suddenly Gink found a condom from Ted's pants. The next day, Gink plans to follow Ted, who goes to Hong Kong first. At the airport, Palm accidentally sees Gink, who looks in a hurry. Without a doubt, for the umpteenth time, Palm accompanied her back. Arriving in Hong Kong, Ted suddenly called Gink. Without thinking, Palm pretends to be a dim sum seller to make Ted believe that Gink is in Thailand. And again, Gink's suspicions were not proven. The singer from Hong Kong who was suspected of having an affair with Ted did not have a special relationship. But unexpectedly, Ted was in the car with a mysterious woman. As a man, Palm already knew that Ted was having an affair with another woman. But again, he lied to Gink so as not to get hurt. So hard, Gink is still looking for evidence to answer her suspicions. Gink's heart is finally broken. His suspicions that Ted is cheating is confirmed. Palm, who was always beside Gink, could only calm her down. While they were on the bus, Gink suddenly jumped and hanged himself on a billboard. Seeing this, Palm was shocked and immediately asked the driver for help to back the bus so that Gink didn't fall. Gink, who was hanged, was still crying sadly. Until finally Gink wanted to lower himself and immediately hugged Palm tightly. After that, everyone on the bus clapped. After that moment, Gink wanted to calm down on the beach. But since Palm still had one more flight to go, he had to finish his work first. However, Palm would not have become his name if he had not sacrificed for Gink. After his work was done, Palm immediately flew over to Gink's place to check on his friend's condition. And sure enough, Gink is a complete mess there. Patiently, Palm removed Gink's messy makeup. He also put lipstick on Gink's lips, which made for an awkward moment. To avoid that moment, Palm takes her for a walk. While walking, the two of them thought as if they were on a date. Gink says that if she becomes Palm's girlfriend, she will check Palm's phone regularly and suspect if there are other women. They both joked the whole way and still imagined when the two of them were dating. In the afternoon, the pain that Ted left for Gink didn't make her stop. Gink still wanted to answer Ted's call. Judging by the look on his face, Palm couldn't understand his best friend, even though Gink didn't even talk to Ted about their problems. At this time, they started to get awkward and started to feel feelings for each other. And suddenly, Gink invites Palm to drink together in her room. Of course, Palm was shocked and immediately bought food at a nearby shop. And when they got to Gink's room, it turned out that Gink asked Palm to take a bath with beer water. Then, Palm innocently followed whatever Gink asked. In the end, they almost kissed. But Gink suddenly burst into tears at the thought of Ted. By then, Palm had lost his temper and had driven him out of control. He feels that he is only used as an outlet for Gink when she is upset with her boyfriend. Palm finally says that he did all this because he loves Gink. Palm, who was never angry, surprised Gink. Gink didn't want to lose her best friend who was always there for her. Before Palm leaves the room, Gink promises to break up with Ted, and after that she will meet Palm at the temple. Long story short, Gink finally met Ted. She tells all her suspicions about Ted's affair. Then, Ted is honest and admits everything, but the most important thing is that Ted loves Gink more. Ted also says he doesn't want to lose her and asks Gink to forgive him for everything that has happened. That night, full of hope, Palm waits for Gink at the temple. Moments later, Gink arrives and explains that she's giving Ted one more chance. She also said that if she dated Palm, there was no guarantee that they would not break up, which in the end their friendship shattered and they both had to separate. Of course, Gink didn't want that to happen. But unlike Gink, Palm felt it was an endless game. Finally, he chose to leave Gink. At the end of the film, Gink is seen waiting for Palm at the place where Palm usually cycles. But Palm tried to ignore it because he wanted so badly to forget about Gink. Suddenly, Gink chases after him and says that she has broken up with Ted. Gink also says that she wants to marry Palm soon. Hearing this, of course, made Palm happy because his 10 years of waiting had finally paid off. And it turns out, the marriage ceremony attended by the three men in the initial scene was Palm and Gink's wedding. The three of them are surprised and happy for Palm's marriage. They are also increasingly eager to pursue their love. Gink and Palm's friendship zone story has a sweet ending. Palm's 10 years of struggle and sacrifice were not in vain. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.